Hello and welcome back to the EPL Final, Season 7, live from Dallas. We do have the first game of the day just about to kick off. But before that, let's introduce the man, the myth, the legend.
Hello, hello. Hugo, how you doing, mate? Doing well?
I'm great.
Up nice and early for the first game?
I'm always ready. I'm always up early.
Of course.
Always prepared. Space Soldiers OpTic Snods is our match of the day here for game number 1. Another best of 3, of course. And coming in through the lower bracket, OpTic, who took a bit of a hit on the way down to Astralis, but came back in fighting form up against NIP. This is a really hard one to predict.
It is. You know, it's interesting as well, Hugo, to bring, conversation about the lower bracket and the idea that you lose the first matchup, you go through into the best of 3s, you have the dominating fashion, what was it? 16-7 and a 16-11 as well, I believe.
Yeah.
To go through, take the win versus NIP, and here they are now. And I actually think that's a better option to go through, for their opposition coming into this. Obviously, Space Soldiers, they have the win versus Renegade, 16-7. They then lose out the 2-0 fashion. And here they are now. So actually, they've just come off of a loss. OpTic, the complete opposite. Off of a high win versus NIP, and they get the confidence behind them.
And Space Soldiers as well, of course, not to completely sweep it under the rug, but they do have Deathspace standing in for Calyx, having a bit of a visa issue there. So that's a bit of a shame, obviously not getting the full Space Soldiers roster, a team that's been rising massively in the past, I'd say 12 months, moving finally from not being that team that everyone goes, oh, they're only online, we don't see them on these top-tier lands. They're making a break, they're in these top-tier lands now, we're seeing them at least compete against the best in the world, and some good performances along the way, but again, there's always an asterisk on it when they have a stand-in.
Yeah, no, I think it's almost, ever since we saw the, E-League Major with the minors, they won the European minor coming into the major qualifier, they make it through to the major, and I think it was like a 2-3 in the Swiss system, they were barely just closing out to try to get in towards the top 8 bracket there, make that legend status, they couldn't quite handle it. But yeah, I mean, ever since then, meteoric rise coming into the scene, and now you could argue they're a tier 1 team, especially with their online performance as well in Season 7 Pro League.
Well, let's see if they can keep it up today. But before that, let's have a look at the schedule, see what games we have unfolding for you guys at home. We can work out exactly what the plan is for everyone here and take us through this.
Yeah, obviously, here on the secondary stream, Space Soldiers with the loss to Liquid in the best of 3. OpTic, the opposite, the win over NIP. 2-0s there for both of those. This is going to be the first matchup we see here on the B stream. Following that one, FaZe versus Na'Vi. Is that on the secondary stream? Wow.
No, I wasn't sure if we were going to get that game. I thought
it was the Heroic Mouse Wars.
I'm happy with that one.
You're very happy with that one.
I'm a very keen bean. I love myself some Na'Vi.
Okay, so that actually means Astralis versus Liquid is going to be the mainstream as well. So actually, this catches us all by surprise, isn't it, Hugo? I thought we had, Heroic Mouse Sports, Liquid Astralis, and the mainstream got the old FaZe boys there. But instead, going to have to juggle the presence on the mainstream, and that's why we see Heroic there.
Giving us a nice little gift, it seems. I'm actually kind of excited to see that game, especially later. I'm glad to be casting that. I really got quite lucky with this.
You did get very lucky with that one.
Cheeky.
Fair enough.
Either way, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about this one. Of course, it's going to be a best of 3, as we are in the lower bracket, and I'm choking here. Sorry, I just spit my water.
I just saw on the table. There's water gushed everywhere.
We'll get rid of that in a second. Well, we're not quite casting.
You're sweating.
I know. We're not quite casting Liquid just yet.
Nice
but yeah, this is going to be fun. I'd love to hear your predictions. Or do you want to wait for the veto before that? Because of course that.
I think the veto might be quite obvious here. I think the veto might be quite obvious. I reckon it's. We see Inferno here, so that's a quick, stay away.
Cheap.
But Inferno, Mirage, and maybe Dust 2. I think Dust 2 is going to be a big one in here. But I think the veto is ready, so we can witness it here. So Space Soldiers battling at Overpass, it makes sense. In the best of 3 versus NIP yesterday, OpTic, the third map, was going to be Overpass. And actually, the best of 3 versus Liquid for Space Soldiers, the last map was Dust 2. Could have seen it. Maybe if we saw Space Soldiers take a 1-map victory, they could have got it to that third map. But instead, Inferno and Nuke picked as well by OpTic. Wow.
Yeah, no surprise on the cash veto again. This is kind of a bit of a form. Yeah, right. Maybe it's third map. A bit of a formation of the old Heroic team that never touched cash as well. So no surprise really to see that. And we know the Danes love Nuke, but it is a big question mark after they got absolutely sideswiped.
This is
right?
The psychological warfare going into the veto, right? If you're Space Soldiers, your permaban seems to be Overpass coming into this one. A map that OpTic can play. It was in the map veto yesterday versus NIP. You saw the 16-3 loss versus Astralis that OpTic suffered. You think, okay, we can get away with not banning Nuke. We can get away with banning Overpass. And we can get, maybe they can pick Mirage. We saw them pick it yesterday as well versus NIP. But going forward into the veto as well, the bans come out as well. Dust 2 banned from OpTic. Don't want to play Space Soldiers on that one. Fair enough, Zentile is going to be great on that map. And the Train banned from OpTic. So Mirage is the third map anyway. I was expecting a Dust 2 mode to creep in, but, both teams can be fairly happy with this one.
Yeah, well, yeah. The thing is, for Space Soldiers coming into this event is it's a bit awkward. Not only having Despair, but let's look at Cobblestone, right? Their best map, and that's being gone for the map pool. Dust 2 in, and again, we've actually not seen any teams pick it. We've seen Dust 2 come up once as a third map yesterday between Space Soldiers and Liquid, right? But it wasn't played because it was a 2-0. And
those Betway odds. Sorry to interrupt. Very surprising. 1.5 in favor of OpTic. So they're very, very heavily lenient towards OpTic. It's understandable though, right? Yesterday's performance versus NIP. That 2-0 was so strong. Plus, obviously, the stand-in now. I say stand-in. Despair replacing Calyx. And we're used to seeing Space Soldiers in top form when it's Zentaras, Calyx, that 1-2 punch. You know, Paz has his crucial opening rounds. But they facilitate the star players.
I really have no idea where this is going to go. I want to lean the way of OpTic, but the thing is, the inconsistencies in that first day really make me question it. Of course, them getting swept over by Astralis isn't a big issue because Astralis are on so much, like, such a streak right now, at least, and looking so fantastic. And again, on a map that Astralis have always been comfortable on, that being Nuke. Not a big problem there, but yeah, this is a weird one. Where are you leaning? We're going to jump into this.
I think the first map decides everything. I reckon it's a 2-1 for Space Soldiers if they win Inferno, and I think it's a 2-0 for OpTic if they win Inferno.
I'm going to go straight for a 2-0 for OpTic, but I think anything can happen here. We're jumping straight into the pistol round here. Welcome and good morning as we go into it. Space Soldiers on the T side. A lot of utility here, Snods. What's the game plan?
Yeah, Molotov double flashbang here for Engine. Or Engin, apologies.
Engine.
And Engin?
Engine.
The Turks call it Engin. But we're going to call it Engine, are we?
We always call it Engine, Snods.
Okay, we'll call it Engine for this one then, mate. Mage with a smoke flash. So either you have the Molotov for position there towards the B bomb set, molly out towards the back boxes, as it seems like it will be the late burst. This is going to be config alone here. They had 4 members towards the A site from OpTic. Smoke lands in. Will block off the vision now towards CT, and that Molotov will be so crucial for Ruins. Big
entry though from Zantaras, clears up the one player actually committed to the B site. Everyone else stuck in the CT spawn as the rotation comes in through the coffin, and Cajun lines up too. Both players going for the double peek, and Space Soldiers are going to get wrecked. Now a man down, having to hold on to the site. They may have Banana, but no flank is in play from OpTic. They're very grouped here towards the CT spawn, playing that buddy system, playing that tradability. Engine in with one. Despe follows up from the back of the site, and it's a crossfire up from the Banana and Major down to the 1v1 to save the day. Cajun on 3 kills, tapping the bomb and forcing the peak, but he won't be able to make Major commit to the duel. Does get a kit on the reposition, but Major's just playing it passive, not wanting to commit to this, and time isn't, frankly, running low. Cajun has to stick this bomb. Glock's not going to be good for range, but he gets the frag anyway. Is there time? I think he might just have it.
It's close. Oh! Millisecond left on the defuse, and Cajun B wins the 1 versus 1. 4K into the round as well, so great performance from him to kick things off. 1-0 as well for OpTic going forward. And an instant pause is going to be called here. I imagine it may be technical. Would be rather strange to see a tactical timeout straight away into this one, unless Space Soldiers were rather frustrated with the loss. But lots of utility used there from Space Soldiers to get into the bomb site. Flashbangs, smoke towards CT, into the afterplant, though they had nothing left. You saw Molotov was dished out early towards Ruin. Wasn't used in the afterplant to try and deny defuse, for example. And instead, OpTic, they land the headshots. Cajun B towards Ruin as well. Crucial to find the double frag early on. Turn into the 5 versus 3. It will win in their favor from there. So 1-0 for OpTic going forward. Space Soldiers with the bomb plant. Major save here and then buy up in the 3rd.
Indeed, that is the case. Fairly standard on Inferno. I want to see how much OpTic are going to prioritize this utility in the 2nd round. Obviously, a lot of firepower on this team, and it's been nice to see kind of Config come into his own as well, have a good performance recently. You know, I looked at the game versus Astralis where they kind of got slapped around a little bit, but it wasn't really only Config, you know, dragging them through and trying to open up rounds a lot of the time. Hopefully, we're going to see a lot more of the same from him into this best of 3.
It's very true. I mean, actually, watching back the old VODs, I say old, you know, only a month old at this point, back when they had Stanislaw and Shazam, you know, much of the game was revolving around Config, you know, even in games where OpTic were losing, Config was still able to drop, you know, your 15, 20 kills, even in 16-5, 16-7 losses. A lot of the T-side as well revolved around Config, you know, pushing forward, playing aggressive. He is very good at those aggressive entries, and for a team, it's important you have that aggressiveness, you know. Be it a Config in this roster, you know, an Apex for G2, but that entry fragger that can be explosive and find those picks and open up bomb sites. As we still wait for the pause, it's going to be a technical issue. Let's hope that it can be resolved fairly quickly, Hugo, as we don't want to be stalled any longer into this great best of 3.
Not at all, especially not so early on as well. You know, not really a whole lot to talk about in terms of what we've seen. But one thing that has been good is we haven't seen too many problems here in Dallas. I mean, we're not in Dallas, so we've seen no problems at all. But that being, you know, no real pauses, no delays. All games have been going on in time. We actually left the studio last night before the last game was originally scheduled to start. It was that smooth, and obviously a lot of 2-0s. But I think, you know, while I called the OpTic 2-0 for this game, I think if any game is going to go to 3 maps today, this is looking likely. Maybe the FaZe Na'Vi one as well. That could be a bit of an interesting match. I actually have no idea what's going to happen there, to be honest, because you've got Na'Vi, who are just looking like on such good form right now. FaZe coming off of a Sydney win as well. So, yeah, 2 very strong teams, and luckily we should be able to bring that to you here on the B stream. So,
ooh, we are ready, though.
Yes.
So, straight back into the action here. Just to reiterate what I said earlier, obviously bomb planted in the pistol from Space Soldiers. They have $2,000 left in their bank balance, so they can save this round, have the $1,900 round loss bonus for it, and have about $4,000 to buy your AK, Kevlar, and of course a smoke grenade or a smoke flash if they find some kills as well. So we should be seeing the 2-0 lead for OpTic. And with those SMGs, they can start to farm up the cash. Only Yuki here is going to be onto USP, so we can afford the AWP into the first buy.
Very deep proactive banana control though for OpTic, something I like to see, especially early into the game. They've got some confidence, that knowing that Space Soldiers won't really have the weaponry to contest back, aside from Gade with that solo UMP. Let's see if OpTic can keep this control for much longer. They have a slight bit of utility, a couple of smokes here and there, but again, most of them over towards A, and that's where Space Soldiers are looking right now. But still with the bomb outside of the B site, Space Soldiers just looking to make some presence up in the apartments, maybe to fall back later into a bit of a B collapse once OpTic have expended the utility. Snappy was still near a full set, so he's easily going to be able to support Cajun close there with the M4. The Space Soldiers just pry their eyes over towards the A site early on. Nothing really is found. There's Snappy at least opening up at the very least. And that's actually the bomb dropped down bottom banana. So the setup for Space Soldiers kind of wrecked now because they have no utility to regain access to that bomb. Xantares does have a P250 though. He gets a kill. Yugi doubles down on short, stopping the split from Space Soldiers. But now Xantares dead. And so things are going to start to look complicated now for the teams.
Game plan from Space Soldiers. Throw out the window early on there, obviously trying to go for a 3-man fake towards the A site. Try their best to get the bomb planted towards B. Have the extra $800 into this round here so they can buy, you know, X utility, maybe an AWP and a Kevlar as well if they wanted to bring out the class cannon sniper. But round number 2, and with that bomb plant in the first, we do see the buy now for the Turks. 4 AKs and a UMP. It says Gade, but
yeah, I know. I just realised I said that last round and completely didn't even realise that
Xantares
is on OpTic.
Strange to see Xantares wielding the UMP unless the UI is bugged in different places.
Yeah, OpTic have gone for the full-on double Yugi play, as you can see in the bottom right. so Yugi's been cloned here for OpTic. I'm sure that's going to get fixed now. Just a short problem with the UI. Config, though, shutting down Xantares up on Banana, so OpTic already off to a bit of a lead here with an advantage. It's going to be Paz close to the apartments as well, going down to Cajun B, off angle, catching him. And despite saying 3 players, there are only 2 still up for Space Soldiers split. And OpTic having not lost a man yet this round, it's looking pretty easy for them so far. This buy round for Space Soldiers falling apart.
Great calculated aggression there towards the apartments. Snappy, Cajun B, holding each other's angles, waiting for the jump in to come through the balcony. Easy frags found early here. It's for OpTic.
It's fixed. We're done.
It's fixed. Oh, it is fixed. Correct.
Fantastic.
Right, so engines here. Gade's there. So it actually was Xantares with an AK, an engine with the UMP. It was just a wrong shuffle in the names, that's all.
You do need that utility on Inferno. Very important for the T side. Well, both sides, really.
Oh, yeah, especially for the CTs.
Yeah.
Having those Molotov stick banana control. But anyway, into the action here. 30 seconds left. 2 versus 5 now. Despot coming in for apartments. Cajun B, of course, the king of apartments so far in this game, has the angle, has it on lock, finds the easy kill. And our major in the 1 versus 5.
I love it. OpTic just fall back. They don't even want to take the fight. I mean, apart from Config, who loves himself.
He loves the action.
And he will clean it up. Major dead. No one dead after time at the very least. OpTic take it flawlessly without losing a man. So that's very, very nice, actually. Going to keep the money going strong for OpTic. Building up an economy early into this first half. So important. And they're going to have an easier chance of getting a 4th as well, as Space Soldiers are just down to pistols. Light investment can come through, but no real more than just a lone pistol and a bit of utility here. Not even that. It's just CZs and Deagles. Bit of a money farm round for OpTic.
Oh, most definitely. You know, sometimes you do see teams go for the quasi-buy, you know, backed up by Kevlar behind the CZs and whatnot. But Space Soldiers, you know, they put a lot of stock into having the extra utility. Maybe the AWP as well could come out into play for Paz into the T side of Inferno. We do know Space Soldiers is a very versatile team. They can play the 5 rifle setup to great lengths. But I'm just going to be leaving Config alone towards the B site. Zentaro's the first Deagle kill onto Yugi's AWP. And now that sort of throws a spanner in the works here. Leaving Config alone towards B, an additional player. Snappy coming in towards the arch side. As we have Cajun, Gade still in towards the A side. Snappy trying to shoot the gun away from Boiler so they can't run out and grab it. And look at the bait coming out as they try their best to get their paws on it.
Cajun got to watch his app, so he may have support from the pit, but he could be quite open there. Paz going to be running out. Engine the only man to get a frag, and that will be it. Cajun locks it from the site. He's having a great game so far. We're early days, but he's 10-0, Snods. This man loves a kill or 2, or 10. So OpTic with a 4-0 lead now. Space Soldiers back into the buy. Again, no AWP, but that's more due to economical restraint. And, you know, while you see a lot of teams, they love the AWP so much that even when they only have 5k on one player, they'll just go for it and play Glass Cannon. We don't see a lot of Glass Cannon AWPing from Space Soldiers. Not only do they not rely on the AWP a lot, but, you know, why put yourself at a bit of a disadvantage when you can play fine with 5 rifles with armor and utility?
Yeah, especially as well in Inferno, a map where the T-side AWP has almost like a breaking point. The first, you know, minute to find the first pick, he'll peek towards Banana, try to get a kill at the corner. He can go for the peek towards Coffin, but he runs a big risk. Goes back towards middle, peeks long, arch, short. There's only a few options here for the AWP. You know, when you charge into these sites, the choke points are so tight that having a dynamic rifle is just so much better throughout the whole of the round.
Yeah, and as well, something to take into account, Calyx not being here, that's one of the players that does like to pick up the AWP for this team. We do have Paz and Calyx both take that from time to time. Obviously, Paz more being the primary and Calyx taking it as a second man. So not a lot of double AWPing I can imagine today, but Inferno is not really a map that leads to it too well. One of the few teams I would say that actually do a good job of that is G2, but...
With a double AWP?
Yeah, on CT, that is.
Yeah, especially now Mixwell as well. 4-0 here for OpTic. And it's going to be the one-man advantage. How are Space Soldiers going to deal with the confidence being shown here by Config towards B? A fluffed smoke as well towards Boiler from Major, which is going to really dent the fake. Snappy now can peek towards Arch. He can see there's no bomb here. Spots no players as well. There's the bomb, left alone towards top Banana. Paz rotates from the balcony, coming back towards Middle, so maybe he can use his smoke. Actually notices a flashbang, so... Awkward scenarios here for Space Soldiers, but they're going to commit towards middle.
Yeah, maybe looking to split this archway, bring the bomb up towards the B site, or just try and force rotations after getting a kill or 2. There's Snappy caught alone, and Paz takes the frag. They're all going to go for the split. Only one man on Banana, but luckily enough, OpTic aren't challenging it. The issue is the time. 10 seconds left up. Major catching rotations here as OpTic are not suspecting that kind of play. Very nice play from OpTic to be so passive on the B site. This bomb plot could be completely cancelled by Config. Only one. There's still another man at the back of the site, but he misses his shot. Yugi giving away his position as well, but Gade is going to come to bail him out from the CT spawn, only for 1 kill, and Engine will clean up. That's so unfortunate for OpTic. They had the perfect setup, Snods.
Doesn't get much better than that one. That smoke towards the start to put out the Molotov from Yugi made things so awkward having the AWP. He couldn't have an effect in it. Barely any time on the clock as well. Config, good for 1, eventually gets shredded out by Space Soldiers, but there wasn't that second player there to kill the bomb planter. Especially the flank coming in from CT, that could have definitely been around for OpTic, but tiny little things going wrong for them, and it goes in favor of Space Soldiers. And now we see another pause coming out, so maybe the issue coming back to haunt us from earlier after the pistol. Hopefully the issue is resolved far quicker. So we do want to jump right back into the action here and see if OpTic can reset Space Soldiers after winning just 1 round. As that's the real game plan here from OpTic. Try and win this one, make it 5-1. Force Space Soldiers into maybe a weak force by an eco as well, and force out the easy rounds for OpTic to get to a really strong lead, you know, 6-1, 5-1 at that. But for now, just all speculation.
And we're back in as soon as you have it. As you say it yourself, a pretty important round. OpTic do need this reset, although it would make things far easier. Space Soldiers wanting to rack up a bit of a streak here on the T side early into map number 1.
Ooh. Double obstacle now from Config.
Very early.
I like this. I like this.
Yeah.
So Space Soldiers so far, they've been going for the concept plays towards Banana. That's why we're seeing Config bring this one out. Will he play counter flash towards the top of Banana, wait for it, then go for the peek, try find the first frag? But he is set up there currently already. No utility for him. So far for Space Soldiers, they've just been mulling the top towards Banana, then peeking it. Could be a position for an Ops to take advantage of. But eventually, Config going to fall back towards CT, play the passive angle. And Snappy now coming towards CT as well, may get boosted, and then Config can rotate back towards the back boxes or towards Emo. So a very, very good B setup coming out for OpTic now. As it seems like it may be tested. 3 players from Space Soldiers towards top Banana. Once again, the single Molotov towards the top. This time, though, Hugo, they molly the corner, expecting maybe something to change.
Expecting maybe this AWP here, and they are trying to bait for the shot there. That's not what you'd always do against a rifle. You're trying to force out an AWP shot so you can quickly re-peek and kill him. Oh no, Config's going for it though. He's hungry for a frag, and he's going to find it. Xantara's dead, falls back and rescopes, but misses the follow-up. Needs support from Snappy, but he's too passive. How does Config get out of there? Great utility usage, does blind the Space Soldiers, and that is such an awkward way to lose a trade. They surely should have caught him there.
And there's the power of the AWP. 1 shot, 1 kill. 5 versus 4 now, once again, OpTic with the advantage into this round. As Space Soldiers fleeting back towards the A site now, we see 3 players from OpTic towards A. Cage and B this time outside the arch smoke. Snappy is here towards the B site. Space Soldiers falling back towards middle. There's still 20 seconds left to Hugo. They can try their best to run back in towards B, but no one's budged from OpTic. They haven't left the B bomb site. They're expecting the late round rotation.
Yeah, again, it's happened before, and OpTic weren't able to pick it up. This time they're looking to at least make a better play on this B site. Snappy looks out for one. There's the bomb drop. That might actually be the round over. They need to force this kill now, and Snappy goes down. Config dropped with the AWP, but the bomb, they didn't go for it. They left it on the floor and ran past to take the kills. You can't always prioritize frags in that situation, and maybe a bit of miscommunication to lose Space Soldiers the round.
Major as well, dying after the round expired. Oh, $950 left for himself.
Dear, oh dear.
This is really bad for Space Soldiers. Now, Major can afford Kevlar maybe, no head armor, Kevlar, and a smoke maybe gets dropped to, you know, P250 or a CZ. But apart from that, Space Soldiers, 2 MAC-10s, 2 AKs, and the CZ dropped over to Major, has the smoke and Kevlar, but apart from that, an awful buy now.
Yeah, well, they have to force, right, just because of people surviving after time, and people dying after time as well. But now OpTic are in a spot where if they win this anti-force buy, they can be up to 7 rounds here without too much of a hassle, but easier said than done. Engine makes a hassle on B. Double entry with the MAC-10, the Vegas Squadron reigns supreme, but so does Cajun, still keeping up this strong form, and he's going to find all 3 on the B side. Even trying to catch Paz will eventually be traded. But the fact that Engine runs in with a double and we're still down to the 2-on-1, it's over. Yugi, big old nade kill, shot through the smoke, and OpTic, they'll neutralize the threat.
13-3 from Cage and B. Being the tertiary player towards that B site, the 3rd man that Space Soldiers never expected. Engine, early 2 frags. In the heat of the moment, he tried to push in CT and catch the rotators from OpTic before they even knew the site was theirs, but didn't clear out the site, and it's going to come back to haunt them.
And this is something that Jason and Jordan were talking about on the other stream last night when they were watching OpTic versus NIP. They were talking about Cage, and they were going, you know, this is a player that he's never really been the star of a team. He's always been that just consistent fragger, the guy you can rely on, the guy that puts up the kills, and he's never the guy at the top of the board, but he's always finding kills in situations when kills need to be found. Well, now, Snods, with him dropping 13 kills in the first 7 rounds of the map, if he's off to this kind of start, we've already seen Config hitting his shots, Yugi just getting shots through smoke. Things are all aligning now for OpTic. Things are looking good.
And these aren't just 13, you know, passive, exit frag,
no.
You know, eco kills. These are impactful frags. The pistol, 4K. On the buy round, 3 kills. The last buy round, 3 kills as well. It's really making up a big plethora of frags to send OpTic to the 6-1 scoreline. Looking likely as well here, Hugo. We see 7-1 with the buy being, well, lack of buy from Space Soldiers. Given the eco here, easy being taken care of. But actually the bomb's made its way on towards the A site. A few frags being found as the bomb is planted. Most likely going to end it there, though, for Space Soldiers. They can have the extra cash to work with. The chance of winning the round is very, very bleak.
I like that there from Gade. He finds out the Major's already planted the bomb, and instead of just running in and trying to chase a kill, even though he's up against a Glock, he goes, no, I'd rather just win the round. We need 3 alive. We want to make some money, so let's group up and go for this together instead of one player overstepping and giving a gun to the player on the site and, you know, giving an opportunity to Space Soldiers. OpTic checking all the boxes and playing as safe as they should. And hey, it's worked out. 7-1 scoreline. Space Soldiers back in with the buy, and this is what we talked about. After that awkward round where Space Soldiers lost players after time, this is what it's resulted in. OpTic having a massive lead in the first half of this map. Space Soldiers need to start now.
Round number 9 then. 7-1 advantage here for OpTic so far into Inferno. As we with a double opposite once again here, Hugo. Snappy this time, not Config. Towards that B bomb. It's like Config playing towards a sandbag, so a good bait setup here towards B. Config, sorry, Snappy takes a shot towards top banana, falls back. Config's in the angle towards sandbags. We haven't seen Space Soldiers molly sandbags yet, have we? They molly up the corner, or they molly top banana, but they don't molly that specific sandbag position.
We haven't seen them have too much need to. No one's really been playing there just yet. This time, the apartments, though, not going to be locked down by Cajun. It's actually Paz's territory. He finds a double headshot into the site. And now he may consider actually committing to A. Instead, OpTic begin to rotate another man over. So Snappy can join Yugi here on A. And so Space Soldiers just read it. They go back towards the B site. They expect OpTic to go for this 2-1 setup that is so common in these situations. But Config playing sneaky around the edge of the smoke. And Xantara's alone with no teammate for support. They'll lose that man and give OpTic the equalizing frag. Space Soldiers desperately running back towards this A bomb site now, but they're going to need some quick kills because OpTic are looking to contest this. Yugi tapped out as Paz is on a tear. Third kill of the round. As OpTic now finally, once again, back down a man, having to retake here at a disadvantage. But no, they're not even going to convince themselves of it. They fall back towards B and give Space Soldiers the round.
That can be the issue, though, when you run a good setup twice. We saw in the first buy round, Cajun B, Gade, finding a lot of success towards apartments.
They love it.
With that angle, exactly. With that angle, the off angle, you know, towards the balcony jump in, Gade holding the walk up the steps as well towards apartments. But if you do it again, you saw Paz ready for the exact same setup, pre-aiming the angle with his crosshair, finds the first headshot, whips it around, gets a trade frag onto Gade from his teammate. And there you have it, you know, a 2 versus 1 that goes in favor of Space Soldiers. Only one player remaining towards the A side. They can walk up quad for free. Good flashbang as well, blinds Yugi. And there you have it. Bomb plants towards the A side. OpTic force to save. And now we see round number 10, 7-2. Space Soldiers, they need to have continuity into this half. They cannot afford to be reset for a second time running because we saw OpTic, they stole 3 rounds from just that one reset.
Definitely an important save, though. Everyone else having money apart from Snappy and Config. So the full buy does come in once again. However, this is Space Soldiers' opportunity, and they know it. After finding that previous round, they can potentially put OpTic on pistols here. Easier said than done, but we've got the AWP out. Yugi going for a bit of a boost as well. I'd love to see this angle. This is nice. It's very high up, but apparently it's not going to work. Major, one step ahead. He's going to catch him, taking Yugi down in middle. And Space Soldiers with a big pick once again. It seems like Yugi is constantly on the receiving end of these headshots to come through. This is not the first time we've seen him dead in middle, just seconds into the round. It makes you question, should we keep seeing these mid peaks from OpTic?
Well, they've gone for the boost, haven't they? Expecting a smoke towards top mid potentially. Maybe that boost is good for dueling an AWPer because actually the bottom player isn't fully seen, so you can go for that peek and try kill an AWPer towards, you know, Vietnam or towards the T-stairs, but Major spots out the shoulder, peeks in towards Yugi. Easy frag found. Re-aggression now towards Banana from Config, which means if he finds this kill, that loss they had early can be revoked and make it into the 4 versus 4. But so far from Space Soldiers, they're not committing fully yet towards B. They have the bomb there, lining up the smokes to deploy as a fake towards the A site. But it seems likely they do resituate back towards B.
This is really dangerous from Config. His teammates having rotated off of B. So if Config doesn't get at least 2 kills here, this site may just be lost and OpTic forced to save, given their money in a dangerous spot. Config, you would usually see a far more passive approach, or at least an AWPer put up on top of that broken wall if you're going to run a solo B here. So OpTic in a bit of an awkward spot, down a man, and Config, here we go, he's going to be trialed and tested. Cajun B gets a kill on the other side of the map. They don't check it, they don't know, they run past, but Config's flashed and he can't get anything done. Xantara's with the opening kill, but that information that Config gained gives time for OpTic to rotate, so they may consider this round, especially with Cajun finding a pick on the other side of the map. OpTic now at least looking at this one. Snappy giving it due consideration as he pushes up through the coffins. With the smoke down and with Space Soldiers delaying the re-entrance for OpTic, if they don't find a kill in the next 10 seconds, Nods, it will have to be the save. I don't think that's looking very realistic. They will at least give it an attempt here, but no, they should fall back here. This should be over. Space Soldiers at least losing men on the exit as OpTic force them to go down with a bomb. But it will be that 3rd round. Space Soldiers keep it going.
Engine. Trying to cross back to Banana to save the AK, but KGB's had enough. Already 17 frags, trying to make it 18, but Despe able to get away scot-free. Does survive the bomb blast as well, so 7-3 now. Space Soldiers avoid the reset, get 2 rounds in a row now, and they're bringing this one back on their T side. 3 players surviving from OpTic, so can they drop over a buy to Config and Yugi? But UMP Dropped over. Let's see what else has been dropped as well. Do they have a strong enough buy to go against Space Soldiers? As the round does begin, Snappy on to the SMG. Cajun B as well, actually. Interesting to see, he drops over the op that was saved to Yugi, and now going to be buying himself an MP7. Star player so far for OpTic, going to be taking a hit in terms of firepower, really giving confidence to his teammates.
I'm excited to see who we see as that consistent secondary AWP for OpTic as well, because so far we've seen Config and Cajun take it. But if we look at Cajun, he's had a period of AWPing before in North, right? He had a little bit of time where he picked up that AWP, and while not to great success, maybe he could be good as a secondary AWP player. Definitely one of them. But Xantares, he's already dropped Snappy on Banana, and Config's tagged up as well. The triple B setup for OpTic does not work out. Only one player was committed deep, and with the smokes that Space Soldiers threw to section off Cajun from this position, he wasn't able to get anything done, but now he certainly is. 2 impactful kills. Space Soldiers unable to get the trade, and OpTic sitting pretty with a man up.
Everything going OpTic's way, it seems. Cajun B now 19 frags after just 11 being played out. They can even maybe get to 20 as well before the round's even done. 4 versus 3. Space Soldiers not going to be leaving one player alone towards the B site this time. They're not going to go for that fake towards the other half of the map. Instead, all players committed towards A. Config. He's starting as he walks through, sees the shadow and pass, capitalizes once again towards the A site. Now a 3 versus 3, and they can make their way through CT here, Hugo. There's 30 seconds left. They have time to run back.
And there's only one man there as well. It is Cajun. He instantly wraps back towards the ruins because he knows they're going for this B split. But OpTic have been caught in the rotations before when we've seen Space Soldiers hit B. So they've got to be very careful leaving this A site. Cajun, in the meantime, will fall down. And OpTic, they're just going to have to save. One thing I would like to note from that round as well, quite interesting, is the different approaches from how Config and Cajun take this B site. In a couple of rounds prior, when we saw Config alone on B, when OpTic had already lost the first man, we saw Config play very aggressively on Banana. He was up on the sandbags. Now, unfortunately, he wasn't able to get anything done, but the difference in approach here was Cajun was playing very passive. He was back towards coffins when OpTic were a man down. So you can see the difference in the play style, and it's quite interesting as well, because I would say that, in my opinion, the way that Cajun played it is definitely a safer option, but we already know Config loves his aggression, as we saw him push through the smoke in this round.
You know, it's quite awkward because Space Soldiers are notorious, Hugo, for a 4-1 style of CS.
Yeah. Major
on his lonesome towards A, for example, throws that fake towards the A site, while you have 4 players from Space Soldiers towards B. We've already seen it twice so far this game, you know. A lot of the times it's Cajun B or Gade killing Major when he's alone, faking the A site. So what that means is, when a team executes on you, and you are playing versus a team that likes to do the 4-1 setup, you have to push that execution and work out, okay, is this a fake? Is it not a fake? Is it just Major alone here trying to fake and force rotations from B to A? Or are they actually trying to commit? So when you play the aggressive setup versus a team like Space Soldiers, it can be very, very efficient at getting the info, working out if they're faking or they're actually committing, and therefore it can pay dividends later on when your team can rotate to the correct site.
Cajun is 19-5 right now for OpTic. Just thought I should
Crazy,
know.
isn't it?
No one even close. The next best at 8 on Config.
You know, when you look at this roster as well, we're expecting to see, you know, Config with that sort of scoreline, Yugi especially on Inferno with that sort of scoreline. But instead, it's Cajun B. They're a rock of the team, the anchor of this team, you could say. In terms of experience, you know, passive play style as that anchor. Second, tertiary AWPer as well. We see Config rotate if he wants to play aggressive with it. Back on North as well, when Config was on the team, there was a little stint where Config took the primary AWP for a few weeks. He was playing that aggressive role with it. So they have some very strong dynamics with it. Anyway, into this round here, will be the buy around the safe weapons from OpTic. 2 SMGs once again for Snappy and Cajun B. AWP for Yugi has been carried over from the last round. FAMAS for Config and the M4 for Gage. The buy is fairly decent.
Slow approach towards the top of Banana for Space Soldiers. Snappy maybe getting flashed over here. He will. They just fall back through the Molotov. I like that from OpTic. They section them off with the molly, and Space Soldiers know they have to run through, otherwise they're at risk of getting picked there from some aggression. A nice attempt from OpTic, but Space Soldiers outread it, although in the process losing a lot of health on Major, who gets tagged by the Flames. Now Space Soldiers just grouping, not playing that 4-1, instead just wanting to go for the full commitment to B, although they are hesitant, and Major actually dropping off back to the spawn. making sure there's no long flank coming out from OpTic, because again, if you have a player that's pushed down second mid and has the information, OpTic could go for a 3 or 4 man stack towards his B site. Not going to be the case. Config running to his death again, and Engine's going to find the opening kill. Snappy now needs to trade things back, and he does start off with a couple of big frags as well. Plenty of time for Space Soldiers to retrieve this bomb this time, but they need to get rid of the man in the middle. Snappy at the back of the site dead, and Yugi's rotated with the AWP. They won't expect such a fast position from Yugi, and he finds 2 fast kills. OpTic in a 3-on-1, and while Major's lurked his way into the CT spawn, the element of surprise only takes him so far. 15 seconds now left as he needs to get this bomb down on the site, but still Yugi sits in the ruins. Waiting for Cajun to rotate up Banana will give time for this bomb plant to come through for Major.
Fakes the bomb plant, hoping Yugi would overextend, but instead comes back towards CT, has the backup of Cajun with the SMG. They're spamming the smoke here, Yugi, but they can't quite connect the bullets.
Wow.
And that Major's made his way through into Ruin. Maybe there's some chance here, unless he walks into the scope. And there you have it, the hat-trick of frags from Yugi. The Danish star AWPer showing his worth into this round as it goes 8-4 now for OpTic. So they've already won the half on their CT side Inferno. On the map pick as well from Space Soldiers.
Yeah, well, Yugi's not been doing a great job at least opening up the rounds with picks down middle. He seems to be locking it down on that B site. That's 2 rounds now where he saved it for OpTic with a 3K and a 2K there. And now 8 rounds here for the Danish side. Space Soldiers cobbling together what they can. They've got a full buy at the very least, but not a lot of cash to fall back on. Again, we have that AWP up on Config's hand, so OpTic continue to run this double AWP. But yeah, we've been seeing Config get caught out a lot on this Banana. He needs to be very careful around these smokes.
He is being flashed up, but right now Space Soldiers are getting used to it. They have players playing counter flash. They're able to get that refrag at least onto Config, so he can go 1-for-1. But now we see it. When Config has that AWP, we know there's something in mind, some aggressiveness that's going to be there. As he finds the first kill now for OpTic, so I feel like a broken record here. Again, the 5 versus 4 in favor of the Danes, as they had the lead early on. Round number 13. In terms of the buy, the double upset once again, so we have Yugi arming the AWP towards the A site. Config now going to be left alone to his own devices at B, allowing Snappy to rotate towards A. So it's all looking very good here for OpTic.
And this is more of a common setup, right? We talk about this solo B play, Config playing on top of the wall. This is something that Yugi loved to do, at least in Heroic, when he played that B site with the AWP. So Config just sitting up there, it gives him good sight lines down Banana. He can get a pick, he can fall back, and he can allow time for that rotate of OpTic. They can afford to run 4 players on the A site right now because Space Soldiers are not pressuring Config down on B, and that is very hard to do as well. They need Molotovs, and they've only got 1 on Engine. As OpTic, they may have a big job to do here on the A site. They certainly have the manpower to find it. Snappy flashed out in middle. They're not going to check the corner though, and they walk right past. He lines up 2 frags. Trade is right back, but Yugi's in position. That is that 4th player on the A site showing its worth, and OpTic are going to lock down long.
Engine now on the 1 versus 4, 25 seconds, the bomb in his domain, but he has been spotted out towards quad. The dink comes out as well through the concrete in pit. And there you have it, OpTic at 9, Space Soldiers remain at 4. Just something I want to point out as well, a little fine detail from Config's AWP in there towards the B site. Interesting thing to note was he didn't smoke the bottom of Banana. Instead, you saw he smoked to the right of himself. He did a little underhand smoke to the right towards the top Banana. Yeah. Almost as if there's, you know, there's no one here towards close. I'm far back on the site. I'm definitely not going to be AWPing towards the broken wall there, the top of Banana. And it's a way to try and lure players into a false sense of security, to walk up Banana, walk into the scope. And actually, it's quite a cool little adjustment there.
I mean, it is Config, right? He doesn't want to smoke bottom Banana.
Oh, he wants the kills.
How's he going to get killed?
Yeah,
how's he going to get kills if there's a smoke there?
But it's just a little nice adjustment I haven't actually seen before. Where
that's a good point.
You lure them into a false sense of security to get that frag, but didn't quite work out in his favor. Instead, though, he did spot the bomb. But anyway, 9-4, as I said before. 5-round deficit now for Space Soldiers, and that deficit, I would say, may extend, but I thought they were going to save here. They are going to go for the buy into this one.
Next round, they would have had 2,400 as well, so they would have had a full buy for the last round of the half, to some extent, you know, full AKs with the smoke flash molly. So that's actually quite a surprise to see this force up here. They really want that 6-9 scoreline, but I don't think they're going to be getting that anytime soon with this buy. They're going to have a massive round. Although, look at this aggression here from Snappy. It's not Config pushing down B. It's a different man this time. In the meantime, Paz takes over A, because OpTic, they've stacked up towards B, expecting a bit of a rush on this eco. Space Soldiers have completely outsmarted them.
OpTic caught off guard by the buy. But now, Cajun B, fast in towards quad, dodges the flashbang, connects the shots as well onto Centaurus. So now we see the equalized 4 versus 4. Snapping as well on the lurk from behind, but it's Major eventually going to be dinked down through the wall to reach his grave. Engine has both onto low HP, so this is looking dire now for Space Soldiers after having such a strong advantage.
Yeah, again, like at the end of the day, you may find that pick, you may get control of the A site, but OpTic have so much manpower and far better weaponry for this retake. It's not a huge surprise to see them come back in with a victory there, but now Space Soldiers are going to be working for what, 3,200 plus kill bonus there? That's not a lot of money. They got a bomb plant, they got 3-round loss bonus, but now we go into the last round of the half snods, and this is when, if the force buy doesn't work from the previous round, you start to question it, because you look at this and you go, well, now they basically have a similar amount of money to try and win this, and if they don't, it's an 11-4 half. It's OpTic running away.
Well, they had a great round there, actually. They find opening picks towards the A site. 5 versus 4 goes in their favor. They have control towards A. After plants weren't the strongest. Centaurus trying to regain control towards Boiler and towards Quad. But Cajun B already so far pushed up. Actually catching him off guard.
That's a filthy nade right there. Look at the health.
Yeah.
Space Soldiers, they are tagged, and they are wanting nothing to do with B after that. OpTic got into a passive setup, have actually rotated another man into position, so Space Soldiers walking into a bit of a stack here. Config on that AWP, we've seen him shine already before. Snappy trying to show his worth as well, finds a bit of damage after 1 kill. Paz trades, and Config needs to double it here, but I don't think there's a lot of pressure. There's so many teammates in position, and so many low players. He shoots the one with health, follows up to Xantares, and the other AWP rotates back in. Yugi's here too. It's an 11-round half for OpTic on the CT side of Inferno, and damn, they are looking good.
This is the map pick as well, Inferno from Space Soldiers. The next one being Nuke. A map maybe Space Soldiers weren't anticipating to be picked. They banned Overpass. They were paranoid about OpTic picking Overpass and getting that in there. They were hoping that OpTic were too scared to play Nuke again after being manhandled by Astralis on it.
And I'm actually even more interested by that now, because I'm just thinking, was that just a fluke? Or not fluke, but was that just, you know, Astralis just being Astralis? Or was it OpTic not being good at the map? Because it's hard to tell when you only get 3 rounds, right? You don't really see too much. So I want to see if OpTic can actually get a victory there and take it confidently, because Space Soldiers are not the best nuke team, but that's a story for another time. We're only halfway through this one, or, well, maybe closer to the end than we thought if OpTic get this pistol round.
It's very true. Is that a smoke or a flash? If that's a smoke, they can wrap through CT here and maybe actually conclude towards the A site.
Surely not. That'd be next level. They're going for the bomb plant. I like this. They fake the bomb on B and then they rotate. It actually draws everyone here from Space Soldiers. We've seen this before quite a while ago. It's rarely brought out, but OpTic are going to make it work. Look at this. They burst 2 players through the apartments. The fake bomb noise forced Space Soldiers completely leave A, meaning this apartment split was not covered at all by the CT side. And Space Soldiers, they've fallen for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
What a snappy-like call then. Brilliant pistol round has been called, but so far it's got them into a scenario where they have the advantage. 5 versus 3 now, as Config wide swing in towards Quad, peeks in and peers in towards mid, gets the head off of Despy. Engine soon follows, leaving just Paz alone.
That's insane. Yeah,
great. Wow, that's probably one of the best pistols I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, you see it every now and then. It's pretty rare because, again, if you make that a meta and you consistently do it, no one's going to fall for it. But if it comes out once every, 2-3 events, yeah, teams always fall for that.
Because I've seen pistol rounds where you smoke the site off like they did, then cross over into CT spawn, and you have players at mid and apps, and then you convert, basically, squeeze the A site from CT and A from middle. But I've never seen a bomb plant fake like that before. That was great ingenuity. Ingenuity even. But anyway, let's give it the force buy from Space Soldiers. They might actually have to force each and every round here as they need rounds on the board ASAP. 12-4, 8-round advantage now for OpTic as they do stack correctly here towards middle. But Despot winning the first frag, trying the dink on the thrive by, but doesn't quite connect it.
Let's do some damage over to Config, but it's not a big issue. OpTic, though, down a man, don't want to be giving this gun over to Space Soldiers, so they just hold fast in middle. Trying to see if these Turks are going to re-peek into the gunfights, and they do. Major wins another one. Despe trades after Yugi drops 1, but there's the flank from the apartments. They were completely focused on short, and OpTic just allow the time to rotate up through the apartments. Cajun's going to make it work with 2. And now with that OpTic, they may have gifted some guns over to middle, but they don't seem to care. They've got the round under control as far as they're aware. The Space Soldiers begin to rotate for this 2-on-2. Xantares is going to get completely blindsided in the apartments, and Cajun's on for the 4K. This man is 28-5, Snods. He is having an insane game here in map number 1.
Rolling back the years, it seems.
Wow.
Resurgence of form. It could just be motivation. Failing stint in North, comes into OpTic, they reshuffle, bring in 5 Danish players now in a Danish team, and maybe this is a team he actually has a lot of confidence in.
yeah, you know, you can sit around, you can complain, or you can upgrade. And OpTic clearly having done that now, 13-4. Space Soldiers not even got a foot in the door here. They've got a single eco to go for before the next buy, but that will be at 14 rounds to OpTic. So they are going to have a flawless half if they want no overtime, or to even find this victory in overtime. They're going to need a pretty sick one as well. Snappy in config opened up on B, and that's the round done and dusted. It's any damage Space Soldiers can find here would be fantastic, but I'm not holding out for it.
5 versus 2 here. It's going to be Major last alive with a USP, no Kevlar. It was the save coming up from Space Soldiers. If this was a different team here, you know, a G2, a team that relies heavily on AWP, for example, I'd be saying, you know, we are lacking an AWP for the CT side in Inferno. But this is Space Soldiers, a completely different beast, a team that is very versatile with the 5 rifle setup as well. They are just as comfortable with no AWP or with an AWP. But
it's also a shame to see the silent stars for Space Soldiers, right? Xantara is 6 kills. Not that anyone's stepping up ready to replace him. We got Paz on 10, but you know, when you have 4 rounds, it doesn't make a huge amount of difference. And arguably the second best player on the team as well, not being able to play. So, you know, Space Soldiers certainly having some question marks over this whole event. And the fact that they've, you know, managed to take victories already is impressive. But this is looking like just a complete manhandling from OpTic. Major's going to need a big round here, and he's at least kicked it off with a double kill, locking down Banana, or the B site at the very least. Yugi trades back, and OpTic, there we go. This is the bomb coming down, and while Despe may be able to get flashed through the smoke, how many can he get? Ooh, they're all blind.
they are indeed. Yugi was holding towards CT, blind off the angle though. But it's our man, Cajun B, 1 frag away from the 30 bomb. Paz had some strong rounds earlier on in their T half. Can he try to replicate that now in the CT round? That is pivotal for OpTic to win as they get to 15. 11 match points, and I don't think we're going to be seeing overtime here, Hugo.
No.
This may be a swift first map to start off the day. As we go into round number 20, 29-5 for Cajun B. He's going to be wanting that one last frag to go for the 6-1 KD.
He's not quite top in this tournament. We did have Jacob on Renegades drop 38.
But that was in 30 rounds, or like 29 rounds, you know?
I would say, yeah, given how many rounds we have played, Cajun's definitely done more.
Yeah, it might be the highest ADR, for example,
yeah,
you know,
right.
play of the tournament.
That's probably right. This is pretty sick. Let's see if OpTic can close it out here. Space Soldiers brought in the shotgun on Major and Despe. And Xantaris, screw it, we're going full auto shotty. They apparently watched Oscar play on Nuke yesterday. And while that worked out there, it won't work out here. Despe does get 1 with a Mag 7, but OpTic have found the entry to complement that in the meantime. They're going to just split this A site. Despe back on the rifle, but he can't get it done. Gade's going to lock him down. Nades over the top of the site, but they're smoked off. Paz even going to get shot through it. All the stars align here for OpTic, and all the stars fire off as we have a 15-4 with a bomb down. Space Soldiers trying to retake to save this map.
The beginning of the end then for Space Soldiers, as it's Snappy, the new IGL of OpTic, brought in from Heroic, and actually Heroic as well, showing some good form here with their new roster.
Yeah.
They had, you know, quite a stale few months with that team, a shake-up of the roster, Freiburg standing in, it feels to bring some new lease of life to that team, and so far for OpTic as well, they're feeling that same, you know, what's the word they use? Slipped my mind.
I can't help you there, I'm sorry.
I slipped my mind.
I don't know. We'll come
word?
back to that. But either way, that's a pretty insane win for OpTic. I mean, not even just
honeymoon
the fact
period,
that
there you go. Honeymoon period.
Honeymoon period. Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, we came into this event going, oh, I don't really know what's going to happen. You know, the first game they get wrecked, and we go, oh, is this just what we expected? Like, OpTic completely falling off the face of the earth with this new roster. Give them a couple of events. Apparently not even. NIP, who had a great first day as well, were defeated by OpTic, and now they're a map up against Space Soldiers. Not just a map up, but a pretty goddamn dominant map. A 16-4 is not close at all. And now going forward to Nuke as well, OpTic's map pick, who knows what we could see.
Right now, though, Space Soldiers, they have a mental buyout clause. The fact that they have, obviously, the stand-in for Calyx. Despe's here, the 6th man on the roster, but it's not quite the same. You know, it's not as if you lose a support player in Engin or Paz potentially. You know, you've lost your arguably second best player here. The 1-2 punch combo of Xantara's on the entries, Calyx on the afterplants has gone. And the synergy we saw between how strong Xantara is at finding opening picks on the T side, followed up by Calyx being able to trade those kills and be so strong in afterplants. They're lacking that firepower to go toe-to-toe with this man in his green here, Cajun B, pretty much 30 kills in just 20 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, when you have any player doing that, no matter how close the game could seem, if you're dropping 30 bombs in regulation, Yeah, that's all you really need, to be
Yeah,
honest.
exactly.
And not even the star player or one of the two supposed, on paper, star players of this team, right? We look to Yugi and Config to be those guys. But, you know, while they had good games, it's nothing like Cajun. And if he carries that on into Nuke as well and has a similar performance, I don't think this is going to be even a close game. But we're going to find out in just a few minutes. Let's see if Space Soldiers can come back on Nuke or if OpTic will be finding that 2-0 victory here in Dallas. See you after the break.